Welcome back to the IHSN Roundtable. We are live from El Rey. I'm Ben Garrett. He's Rick Keaton. Kevin Akers is over there eating supper. Greg Bond is behind the scenes making things happen as he always does. And these two ladies are from Scott High Soccer, seniors Abby Reynolds and Zoey Terry. Guys, thank you for joining us. And so let's jump right in and talk some Scott High Soccer. And you heard the girls from Oneida who are on just now, and so you definitely have got I put the challenge to them when they came out. I'm putting the challenge to you. You've got to outdo them, because if you guys can't talk and fill this segment, and then Rick has to help me out. And so,
we don't want that.
So Rick, jump in anytime. Abby, I'm going to start with you.
Okay.
You kind of lost your starting spot this season, and you were coming off the bench, but you're back in the starting lineup. At least you were on Tuesday against Clinton, big district game, and you have had a couple of really, really good games. You were player of the week last week. So I got to ask you, do you feel more comfortable coming off the bench, being on the field in the starting role? Where do you want to be?
Personally, I have switched positions. I was starting more towards the wing, and he's kind of moved me back in the defense, playing center mid, pushing up a little bit. I have more free will on that in the middle. I can go from side to side, far up as I want, far back as I want. So I feel really comfortable, not as much limitations and pushing up and down the sideline. Instead, I'm all over the field.
And so that was going to be my next question for you, because you started and actually even saw playing time as a freshman at that wing position, and that's where you've been, at least for the high school career. I think in middle school you played on the wing as well, and now you're in the middle of the field, and you've adapted quite well. So you would rather be in the middle of the field?
I would, especially I've kind of adapted coming from that position. I've really kind of figured it out, and I have two good girls who are along with me, so I've been able to learn pretty quickly and pick up on what they do as well. So
Zoey, you were really coming into your own. Started to as a freshman, and then especially as a sophomore. Then you had a basketball knee injury, and you missed most of your junior season. Where are you at now? Are you back to 100%, or are you a little bit apprehensive on the knee? Where are you at as a player coming off that injury?
I'd like to say I'm 100%, but once you go so long, it gets tired and a little shaky. But you just play on it and keep going until it gives out, I guess.
So a lot of players, when they have a knee injury like that, they come back, and it takes some time to get over just that, I guess, that fear of at any minute they're gonna go down again, and they're gonna re-aggravate that thing and maybe tear it again or whatever. Do you find that that's true, or do you find you just go out and play?
I mean, it took probably the first game back. I was like a little shaky, and I heard my brother actually. He yelled. He said, "Zoey, that thing ain't gonna get out. Just go on and play. Quit being a wimp." And so I went, and that's whenever I started playing again. And after that, I just didn't even think twice about it.
Do you ever beat up your brother?
I tried to, but he usually has the upper hand.
Really? So which brother are we talking about?
Older brother,
Okay.
Oldest brother, Dalton.
Not Gavin.
No, I'd take him any day.
I think so too.
Yeah.
But I think you could take your older brother.
I try.
Okay. So we talked about Abby moving from wing to midfield. You've kind of played everywhere as well. You've been up front for most of your high school days, but you've been playing some defense this year as well. In fact, I would go so far as to say that Scott High plays better when Zoey Terry and Chloe Tucker are playing in the back. The only problem is you guys are needed on the offensive end as well. Where would you rather be?
Personally, I like offense, but I'm new to defense, so I can't really be a hater on it. So I guess just play wherever I'm put at. I can't really pick one or the other.
So you are Eric Henry says this all the time. He says Zoey Terry is so athletic, and I always stop him. And I say, Zoey Terry is the best athlete at Scott High, boy or girl, period. You disagree. I know you disagree with that.
I think you give me more credit than I deserve.
Well, you know what
Well,
they
I
say.
agree too. So that's two of us, right?
Nobody can jump like Zoey Terry. We're looking for a dunk this basketball season, by the way.
I would love to do that, but I don't think I'm there.
All right, so you guys last week got a big win over Clinton. And by the way, I'm gonna throw this out there because I looked back today to see. I wanted to know when was the last time that Scott High mercy ruled somebody. You guys technically did not mercy rule Clinton because it was a 9-0 game. It's just the clock keeper messed up, and the official, he looks at his notepad and he says, "Yeah, it's 9-0." He looks at the scoreboard and he says it's 8-0, and he kind of got confused. He let the game go on when it should have ended early, and I know that was okay because the younger players were getting some time out there, so I know they were okay with that. Technically, it should have been a mercy rule. The last time that happened was in 2017, also against Clinton. It's been 5 years ago. Do you guys know, Abby, do you know what happened in 2017?
We won the championship.
Won a first district championship in school history. So what do you think? Is that an omen?
I definitely feel like it puts us at an advantage, especially moving into next week. We have a little more momentum to where we are playing next week, especially we're playing Oneida. Later on in the week, we're playing Kingston tomorrow, another big district game. So it really looks good on the score when Kingston also mercy ruled Clinton, and so did we. So
Let's talk about Kingston tomorrow night at home. By the way, you guys have only had one home game this season. That's
What's up
hard to
with
believe.
that?
Eric Henry,
Eric Henry.
whatever. You guys have had one home game this season, so you've got the luxury of having a couple now over the next couple of weeks, and it starts with Kingston. Huge game tomorrow night down on the farm, and you mentioned the 9-0 score against Clinton. That's one common score that you guys have got. Another common score is Anderson County, and you both lost 2-0 to Anderson County. The fact that Anderson County beat Clinton, which I personally thought was a little bit of an upset, that means if you guys win tomorrow night, then you get to host a district tournament game, which is huge. Talk about that game against Kingston tomorrow.
No, you got it, pal.
Take off, Abby. Somebody's got to talk.
I think the Clinton win gives us a bit of a confidence boost, and it really helped us figure out how to play together as a team because we were struggling with that a little bit. We weren't playing well together, but after that, I think we kind of figured some things out, figured out some positions, and play together as well. But I think that'll help us in the game if we can just stay level-headed and play together like we did at Clinton.
Well, tell us about Kingston. Tell us where they're strong at and where you perceive any weakness to be.
They've always got strong players in. One leaves, another one comes right in and replaces them.
So they've got some depth.
They do.
And do they use that depth by substituting a lot of players in and out?
They substitute quite a bit, but once they have their players rolling and they're on a good little thing, he just usually leaves them playing whatever they're doing.
So last year in this regular season game, Kingston mercy ruled you guys. It was the first time, if I remember correctly, it was the first time in school history, program history.
It was.
First time Scott High girls soccer has been mercy ruled. So do you go into this game wanting a little bit of vengeance?
yeah, you kind of go with higher expectations. We played Kingston in the championship a couple years ago at home, so we'd really like another championship game against Kingston. We'd like a win against Kingston. Kind of put us, I think it'd put us at number 2 because AC's number 1, and especially with that similar score, we have really high hopes for this game.
And regardless of how this turns out, now you guys played Kingston last year in the district tournament, and the way things have set up, you're going to be playing Kingston again this year in the district tournament.
Right.
That's already decided.
Yeah.
The only thing that changes is where that district tournament game gets played. I know you would love to get them at home. So really, I don't think that the importance of tomorrow night's game can really be overstated. I definitely don't want you guys to overlook tomorrow night. 6:30 start, by the way, tomorrow night at Scott High School. But I got to ask you about Thursday night. Now, Oneida, they're kind of taking, I don't know, they got kind of a warm-up game tomorrow night because it's a non-district game, and then they're going to be waiting on you on Thursday. This is always the biggest game of the season, and usually, Scott, you can throw records. You know, the old cliche is throw the records out the window. When you guys know how to play, you can truly throw the records out the window, in my opinion. But I want your opinion. Do you guys treat that as just another game, or are you looking a little bit extra forward to that one?
I feel like everybody definitely comes out 110% against Oneida. It's just kind of that rivalry. I mean, we come off the field as friends, but on that field, we're there to win, and that's how it always is. So, especially with that higher expectation. Last year, they beat us at first. It's not pretty. We suffered those 200 bleachers from it, and then we came back and on their field and we won. So
Less than a week later.
less than a week later. So that definitely had an effect on us. So I'm really excited for Thursday.
And ZT, I tell you all the time that you're a politician because you're friends with everybody. So how do you handle a game like that on Thursday? Because you're supposed to be able to put those friendships aside when you step out there on the field for 80 minutes. How do you do that? Because I know you just like everybody.
When you're friends with everybody, you can't. You just take it and go on. But they usually end up mad at you. You got to fix it after, even though you didn't do nothing.
So you're pretty good at smoothing things over.
Comes with having 2 older brothers.
Yeah, okay. All right, so let me ask you guys this. You guys are both multi-sport athletes. Abby, you cheer in addition to playing.
What?
So what was the look for?
Oh, no.
I thought I got a little bit of a dirty look. Sorry, I guess.
think you did.
Olivia Rector, she let me have it when she was here a couple weeks ago because I said cheerleading wasn't a sport. I didn't really say cheerleading wasn't
you
a
say
sport.
that?
I did not, but that's
Oh,
what she was.
Ben.
That's what she was thinking.
Well,
She turned Melissa Rector on me. So no, but you cheer in addition to playing soccer, and Zoe, you play basketball as well as play soccer. Talk about the sacrifices because you guys are high school sports, college. High school sports are year-round anymore. Just one sport. But when you play multiple sports, it's really an extra burden. Talk about the sacrifice that you got to make to be a multi-sport athlete.
The conditioning is very different. Very different. It's a little harder on your body going from one sport to another. You're usually behind once you get back. They've already put in plays, put in some motion offenses, just everything. It's just, I don't know. It's different going from one sport that you've been playing for months and you're used to running that type of conditioning, and then you switch. You literally have to flip the switch because it's just so different.
Okay, so I asked the girls from Oneida this just a minute ago, and I've asked the other players who've been on as well. You guys are seniors. This is it for you playing soccer at the high school level. In a month from now, regardless of how it turns out, in a month from now, your season's going to be over. So when it is over and you guys can look back and say you have no regrets about anything, what will you and your team have accomplished for you to be able to look back and say that?
I definitely feel like we've created good relationships over the past couple of times. We've had big wins. We've overcome a lot of things through each other, whether it be through running. We've celebrated, so we go through a lot together. We have practice from the start of June, and we go all the way through the end of October a lot of times. So you're with those girls a lot of your summer and then into school. So you really create good relationships, and then over time you evolve as a team because of those relationships. So.
All right, guys, tomorrow night against Kingston. Big game. Encourage everybody, if you can, get out, support Oneida or Scott High tomorrow night. Pick a game, go support this team. But certainly, if you're in Scott County and you don't like to travel, then tomorrow you're going to want to be at Scott High for Kingston. Thursday, you're going to want to be at Oneida for that game. Big week of soccer coming up. Good luck to you, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
All right, Abby Reynolds, Zoey Terry, thank you guys for joining us. When we come back, we're going to switch back to football and talk to our First National Bank players of the game.